This is a healing about a woman in her 40s who, after about 10 years of being single, after a really, really horrible divorce from a very abusive ex, reached out to me with the hope of trying again to find a new relationship and also potentially to go back into the workforce and maybe find a new career path. So when I tuned in for the healing, I held the front and back of her third eye at different layers. And what I saw originally was, it was very interesting. I don't know if you can imagine like the tide of the ocean coming in and going out. And somehow I got this vision of these souvenirs, like these bottles that have water in them, and they tilt, and the water goes this direction, and then it tilts back, goes to this direction. I don't know where I remember that from gift shops, probably from childhood, but that's what it looked like. The chakra looked like ocean water going back and then spilling forward, spilling back, spilling forward, and what I saw was in a closer inspection that when it spilled backwards, the chakra was like scrunching up, bunching up right at the mental body. And then when the ocean tide went forward, it was bunching up in the emotional body in front. So it would go back, it would bunch up in the mental body and back, and then it would come forward and bunch up in the emotional body in front. And I basically understood at that point that her third eye, and she's a meditator, she told me, and she said that her third eye's been blocked since the divorce. So it didn't surprise me that when I realized that the bunching up in the back at the mental body and the bunching up in front in the emotional body was basically her saying, you terrorized me, the ex, and in such a way that, I had to hide my third eye, I had to hide my creativity, I had to hide my imagination. I had to basically watch what I thought. So I bunched up in the back, held my energy back in the mental body, in the third eye, because I was scared to think. This tiptoeing around an abusive energy, you got to tiptoe and almost make yourself kind of invisible mentally, so they have no hook to hook onto. So, and the emotional body in front bunching up was like, the same thing. It was like, I'm scared. This is, I'm feeling fear here. So I had to hold the third eye, and I basically allowed the client to gradually decide, hey, wait a second, it's been 10 years, I've done a lot of healing in these 10 years, and I'm tired of this. But it took me holding the energy for her to redecide, to get the even the thought of like, hey, wait a second, why am I living in such fear in my third eye? Why am I withholding my creativity and my imagination and my thinking? And as soon as she started to figure out that she could redecide, that's when the reprogramming started. And basically we were able to with her decisions, to reprogram such that, hey, wait a second, I have a beautiful third eye. Hey, wait a second, I'm going to get back to full-time meditating. Hey, wait a second, my imagination, I'm excited. I'm going to let my imagination roam. I'm not afraid to think anymore. Of course, this is one healing, and it takes a while to really reprogram all of this stuff. So I don't want to give any sense that this is an immediate transformation, but during the healing, we were able to give the aura an experience of that kind of freedom in the third eye. So, all right.